Hello everybody, I'm Danielle Jameson, welcome to the channel. So for today's video I actually have a bit of a story time for you guys, and I'd like to think that me telling you this story will raise a bit more awareness about possible scams, possible frauds. I mean, I've always been the kind of person to really be wary and like really think about the texts that I'm getting through, or a phone call that I've received, or an email or anything. I've always been very overly cautious about, fraud and getting scammed and things like that. And recently, I'll hold my hands up and admit that I was fooled by a scammer, and I could have actually lost hundreds of pounds because of this scam. So I want to talk to you guys about it today. So I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now, actually. I had received a text from somebody from somewhere claiming to be the mobile phone provider EE. It was something along the lines of that they were supposedly having trouble getting my bill ready for the month. And I needed to refresh my bank details and make sure that my billing details were all like up to date. It gives me a link, and I have no idea why I clicked on the link. The number one thing with scammers, with frauds, is if there's a link in the email, if there's a link in a text, anything, do not click on that link. But I think I was having a bit of an off day. I think I was very, very stressed. I hold my hands up. I should have definitely been more vigilant like I normally would, but I wasn't. And so I clicked on that link, and it took me actually to what looked exactly like the EE official website. I started to input my billing information. One of the biggest reasons why I think that I fell for this was actually because not only am I an EE customer, it was getting close to the time of the month where EE would normally be processing my monthly bill. I had actually very recently gotten a new bank card. Scammers, a lot of the time, work really, really hard to try to fool people with things like this. They'll recreate very popular company websites. They will try to mimic these companies to try to catch you out. With, the benefit of hindsight, I should have actually contacted EE in some way, shape or form to double check that this number, was it an official number or not? But I didn't. So yeah, sometimes with scams, it's kind of obvious that it's a scam, but other times the scammers and these fraudsters really go to very, very crazy lengths to try to fool potential victims. After I had input all of the billing information, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days later, I actually started receiving these weird texts from my bank. And at first I was not sure if these texts were official. I think within the space of 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute, I got around 6 or 7 different texts from my bank. And then about 10 minutes later, I actually received a phone call from a number that I didn't recognize on my phone, and it was somebody claiming to be my bank. I was actually a little bit suspicious of this phone call. The actual phone line, the reception was really, really bad, and it kept like cutting out. But the basic gist of what they were trying to say to me was that somebody was trying to take money from my bank account. He was asking me certain questions about, have I received a suspicious text or email or anything like that lately? And I was kind of in the midst of just those general questions. And all of a sudden the phone line went dead. I don't know whether the gentleman hung up on me or whether there was some kind of connection issue somewhere along the line, but the line went dead. And so I took this opportunity to double check the number, and actually it was an official number, and it was thankfully actually my bank. So I rang them back, and it was a little bit of to-ing and fro-ing. I tried quite a few times. I was on hold, and then things just kept happening, so I had to contact them again. And then eventually I got through to a very kind gentleman who said to me that somebody had been consistently trying to get £300 out of my bank account. Now, this is actually when being a little bit on the broke side and not having much money kind of saved my booty here, okay? Because I think at the time I had about £5 in my bank account. That is all I had in there. But also I don't have an overdraft on my bank account either. So both of those things saved my sorry booty. Big time. They tried a few different times. My bank saw this as suspicious activity and they put the transactions on hold basically. I did hear information from one of the people I spoke to at the bank. These scammers were trying different amounts. I heard a one for Netflix apparently, and another transaction for £100 and something that they were trying as well, but all of these were failing. But then when this gentleman put me through to another gentleman, the stories kind of conflicted each other, but I double checked the phone number and it definitely was my bank. It was the official phone number. So I don't know what was going on there. Obviously maybe some kind of misinformation, miscommunication, but yeah, my bank were kind of contradicting themselves a little bit depending on who I spoke to, you know. But eventually it's luckily all been sorted. These scammers did not get a penny out of me. I've now been sent a new card. I've chopped the old one up, and yeah, so please be safe, please be vigilant. Even if you're stressed or there's a lot of things going on, always double check things. I normally do, but just for some reason they caught me at a really bad time. People lose, in some cases, thousands and thousands of pounds because of things like this. It's a big deal. So I want to know, have you guys been in a similar situation to this? Have you guys had a similar text message from EE and then, you know, days later or weeks later or whatever found out that it was a scam? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I do hope that you found it interesting. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Thank you so much once again, and I very much hope to see you in my next video.